What a night in Dallas. Cristiano Ronaldo's World Cup story has come to an end, and it wasn't the fairy tale finish millions around the world were hoping for. Welcome back to the channel, because today we are breaking down every single angle of Spain's 1-0 win over Portugal in the round of 16. The goal, the stats, the emotional fallout, and what comes next for both nations. Grab a seat, because there is a lot to get through. Let's set the stage first. This clash at AT&T Stadium in Arlington carried enormous weight. Spain arrived unbeaten through the group stage and the last 32, having not conceded a single goal across 4 matches. Luis de la Fuente's side were being talked about as the form team of the entire tournament, built on control, patience, and defensive discipline. Portugal, on the other hand, had needed a late winner just to scrape past Croatia in the previous round, and question marks were already swirling around whether this aging, star-studded squad could go the distance. And hanging over everything was Ronaldo himself, who revealed before kickoff that this World Cup would be his last regardless of the result. From the opening whistle, Spain looked the sharper side. In just the 3rd minute, Mikel Oyarzabal forced the first save of the match out of Diogo Costa, and 5 minutes later he somehow dragged an even better chance wide from a promising position in acres of space, a real sitter and a sign of things to come for the Spanish striker. Spain kept the pressure on, and in the 16th minute, Diogo Costa produced an outstanding double save, first denying Lamine Yamal after he cut in from the right, then reacting instantly to tip Alex Baina's follow-up around the post. It was Portugal's goalkeeper standing tall as the wave after wave of Spanish pressure kept coming. But Portugal had their moments too. In the 37th minute, Ronaldo latched on to a glancing header across goal from João Felix, only for Unai Simon to get down and deny him. Then, just 4 minutes later, Nuno Mendes rattled a rasping effort off the crossbar via a deflection off Pedro Porro, and for a brief moment it looked like Portugal might snatch the lead against the run of play. Simon was called into action again shortly after, getting down low to parry away a tight angle effort from Ronaldo himself after he was hauled to the floor by his former Manchester City teammate Rodri inside the box. At halftime, this game was still goalless, but the underlying numbers told a clear story. Spain were dominating the ball, dictating tempo through Pedri and Rodri in midfield, while Portugal sat deeper, looking to hit on the counter through Bruno Fernandes and their front players. It was cagey, it was tense, and everyone inside that stadium knew a single moment of quality could decide the entire tie. The second half followed a similar pattern. Spain probed patiently, working the ball through Dani Olmo and Yamal, while Portugal defended resolutely with Nuno Mendes and Renato Veiga marshalling their backline superbly. In the 76th minute, Bruno Fernandes came agonizingly close, crashing an effort into the side netting after excellent build-up play from substitute Rafael Leao, who had been introduced to add some fresh legs and directness going forward. It was one of Portugal's best chances of the entire match, and it went begging. Then, with 8 minutes remaining, came a moment Spanish fans will want to forget. Oyarzabal was played clean through by Dani Olmo, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and somehow believing he was offside, he casually dragged his shot wide of the far post. It was a genuinely shocking miss given the magnitude of the occasion, and for a moment it looked like it might cost Spain dearly. But football has a way of rewarding patience, and Luis de la Fuente's substitutions ultimately proved decisive. Ferran Torres had been brought on in the 75th minute for Alex Baina, and just moments into second-half stoppage, in the 91st minute, Torres played a beautifully weighted through ball that sliced open the Portuguese defense. Mikel Merino, another substitute introduced late in the match, ran onto it and calmly slotted a low finish inside the post, beating Diogo Costa to send Spain into pandemonium and Portugal into heartbreak. It was a cruel, clinical way for the match to be settled, arriving from the boot of a player who wasn't even on the field for most of the 90 minutes. That goal sparked wild celebrations from the Spanish bench and confirmed what so many had felt for weeks, that this Spain side, built on defensive solidity and squad depth, were simply the more complete team on the night. Spain finished the match with 56% possession and an 88% pass completion rate, comfortably outpacing Portugal's 84% accuracy, despite Portugal completing over 100 fewer passes overall. In terms of chance quality, Spain's expected goals tally sat at 1.77, compared to Portugal's much more modest 0.60 from 10 total efforts. Remarkably, Ronaldo was the only Portuguese player to register a shot on target across the entire 90-plus minutes, a stunning statistic given the attacking talent Portugal had at their disposal. Now let's talk about the individual performances, because there were some real standouts. Unai Simon was outstanding once again in the Spanish goal, continuing his incredible tournament form after previously breaking a 36-year-old record held by Walter Zenka for the longest run without conceding at a World Cup. Nuno Mendes was immense on the opposite side for Portugal, widely regarded as the best left-back on the planet right now, though it was his battle with the injury that eventually forced him off in the 56th minute. And, of course, Ferran Torres and Mikel Merino, the two substitutes who combined for the winning goal, were the standout impact players off the bench, with Merino once again proving that he has a knack for coming up big in the most important moments for both club and country. Now, the emotional core of this entire story is Cristiano Ronaldo. This was his 27th World Cup appearance, an almost unthinkable number, and it ended in disappointment rather than glory. What makes his career even more remarkable is that he scored in every single World Cup edition he appeared in, a record 6 tournaments, which stands as an all-time record for scoring across the most editions of the competition. But on this night in Dallas, the goals wouldn't come, and Ronaldo was left as a mostly peripheral figure before that one brief sight of goal in the first half. After the match, Portugal head coach Roberto Martinez confirmed he would be stepping down from his role, and Ronaldo himself made it clear that his international journey had reached its natural conclusion. The image of him giving a brief, stoic wave to the fans as the final whistle blew will be one of the lasting memories of this tournament, whichever way the rest of it unfolds. It's also worth putting this result into wider context. This was actually the 10th match at this World Cup to be decided by a goal scored in the 90th minute or later in normal time or extra time, which is now the outright highest number of last-minute winners in a single World Cup edition in history. It speaks to just how tight, tense, and dramatic this tournament has been from start to finish, with fine margins deciding some of the biggest matches on the calendar. So, what happens now? Spain march on to the quarterfinals for the first time since they won their only World Cup title back in 2010 in South Africa. That alone tells you how significant this achievement is for Luis de la Fuente's group. They remain the only team left in the competition yet to concede a single goal, having now recorded 6 consecutive clean sheets, another World Cup record. Waiting for them in the quarterfinal is a red-hot Belgium side, who put on a dominant, disciplined performance to eliminate co-hosts USA in the previous round. That quarterfinal is scheduled for Friday, and on paper it promises to be an absolutely fascinating tactical battle between two of the tournament's most well-organized teams. For Portugal, it's the end of the road, and the beginning of a new era. With Ronaldo gone and Martinez departing the dugout, Portugal will need fresh leadership to guide a talented young core that includes the likes of João Neves, Vitinha, and Nuno Mendes into the next cycle. There will absolutely be an inquest back home about tactics, team selection, and whether too much of the campaign was built around giving their captain one final send-off, rather than maximizing the team's actual chances of going deep in this tournament. So there you have it, a dramatic, story-filled night in Dallas that saw the curtain fall on one of football's greatest ever careers, while Spain quietly continue their march toward what could be a historic second World Cup title. Let me know down in the comments who you think wins that quarterfinal between Spain and Belgium, and make sure you're subscribed because we will be back with full coverage as the World Cup rolls on toward the semifinals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.